So Diablo 4 is actually going to have quite a lot of account-wide progression systems, and we recently got more information on how these systems are going to transfer over to the seasonal realms. So in this video, I want to go over all the information you need to know for all of these account-wide progression systems to make sure you have everything you need when you start a new season. And there's a handful of systems that are going to dictate how these progression systems work, namely being the Eternal Realms and Seasonal Realms, and then there's going to be normal and hardcore characters in both of these different realms. Now, for any account-wide progression system, it's going to be different depending on if you're playing on a normal character or a hardcore character. So if you complete something that's account-wide on a normal character, it does not transfer over to hardcore characters. So you have to do any account-wide progression separately between the two character types. But then you also have the Eternal Realms and the Seasonal Realms. Now, Eternal Realms are just going to be the base game. So when the game is first launched and there's no seasonal server active, we're going to be playing on the Eternal Realms. These characters are never going to be deleted. They're never going to be reset. And you're always going to be able to play the same characters you've been playing on them. So these are just the base servers. And since nothing's ever resetting, any account-wide progression you do is going to be permanent and always there. But like I mentioned, it's only going to account for the character type you're on between normal or hardcore. But then a few weeks after launch, you're going to have the seasonal servers. And there's going to be a little bit of a split on what actually transfers over to the seasonal servers. And that's a lot of the specific information I want to go into when we're going over these account-wide systems. Now, the first big piece of these systems is going to be the ability to skip the campaign. So how this is going to work is once you complete the main campaign of Diablo 4, once on any character, every other character you have will now have a button on character selection to skip the campaign. Even if you created another character before you beat the campaign, you can still go back and skip campaign on any of the other characters. Now, this isn't going to make a new character be like level 50 or anything, but this can definitely help you in some other ways and not require you to go beat the campaign to unlock certain aspects of the game. And we did get confirmation that this does persist into season. So if you complete the main campaign once, you can then go skip the campaign anytime a new season starts as well. And presumably this is also going to be split with hardcore characters as well. So if you play normal and hardcore characters, you'd have to complete the campaign on one of those characters each. Now, there is a bunch of information we don't have on exactly what's going to happen with this system or exactly how it's going to work, because unlike a lot of the previous Diablo games, you could already pretty much go anywhere you want in the game once you unlock the open world. The main campaign wasn't stopping you from going and doing any dungeons you want, or going to any of the other regions, or even doing different chapters of the main campaign in any order you wanted to. And without further information, I think one of the most important parts of this is just allowing you to level up in any way you want and not forcing you to re-go through the campaign with other characters, instead just allowing you to go level up through dungeons or other open world systems in the game. Because we do also already know that some of the systems that you unlock part of the way through the main campaign, you're going to get on alternate characters like mounts. If you unlock mounts on one character, you can now use them on your alternate characters as well. And we do also know you're not going to be able to unlock the world tiers any quicker skipping the campaign, because you still have to go complete a high level dungeon to unlock these next world tiers. Now, there is the possibility that people find some ridiculously strong builds or early builds to allow you to go complete those capstone dungeons much earlier, and in that case the skip campaign would actually be pretty helpful, because there's no actual level you have to get to unlock these higher world tiers. You just have to complete a high level capstone dungeon. So there's the possibility that maybe at like level 30 people figure out a way to complete the level 50 capstone dungeon, and then they get into world tier 3 at level 30. That could be a possibility with this system as well. And the first of these systems being the Renown System. And this is essentially going to play the part of a region or zone completion system that's going to give you permanent account-wide rewards. And every region of the game is going to have its own Renown track to progress through and earn these different rewards. Now we know on the launch of Diablo 4 there's going to be 5 regions, everyone having its own separate renown progression, but we do also know there's going to be a hell playable area when the game is launched, and we don't know if that's going to be considered another region with its own renown progression as well. So as of right now, we know there's going to be 5 regions with the 5 different renown progression tracks. And the basis of this system is you just do things out in the world of Diablo 4, and whatever region you're in, you'll earn renown points for doing these things, and once you hit certain thresholds, you get some rewards. And you're going to earn different renown amounts for doing different activities. So you earn 5 renown for discovering an area, 10 renown for finding altars of Lilith, 20 renown for unlocking waypoints, 20 renown for completing any side quests, 30 renown for completing dungeons, and 100 renown for liberating strongholds. And you're not going to have to do everything in a region to complete all of the renown. There's going to be so much different things to do. You're only going to need to actually complete a fraction of everything you could in that region to at least complete the renown for that region. But it's still going to give you the information on everything you can do in that region if you're a completionist and want to absolutely complete everything. So once you get to these different thresholds of renown, you're going to get a new reward. The first one may be 100 renown, then like 300 renown, so on and so forth. And it's seeming like there's going to be 5 different rewards in each region. So 5 thresholds of renown you need to get to. And these rewards are going to be split up into 2 different sections that work a little bit differently. So at the bottom, there's going to be the permanent account-wide rewards. So for the Fractured Peaks, which is the first region of the game, the first section is going to give you 1 skill point, second's going to give you 1 potion charge, third is going to be another skill point, fourth is going to be an increase to the max obols you can carry, and then the last reward is going to give you 4 paragon points. Now these rewards that I just went over are the permanent account-wide rewards. Once you get these, every character has them. Now this part is actually going to work differently between the Eternal servers and the seasonal servers, because Renown is pretty much the main account-wide system that does not transfer over to seasonal servers. So if you complete all the Renown on the Eternal realms, you're still going to have to go complete all of this stuff on the seasonal servers as well to get all these different rewards. And this may sound a bit annoying, especially if you're somebody that's going to play every new season, but there's so much power in this that every character gets. It would just be way too strong to allow every new seasonal character to just have tons of additional skill points and ton of additional power starting off at level 1. So I think they're doing this to keep a little bit of the competition in the seasonal realms. And again, you're going to have to complete the renown systems on a normal character and on a hardcore character, because the account-wide rewards are going to be separated between those 2 character types. But then you also have a character-specific reward track that works a little bit differently. And these are going to be in the form of bonus experience and bonus gold. And this is just going to give you some amount of XP. I'm assuming this is probably a percentage of XP. So no matter what level you are, you're probably going to get right around the same XP. Then it's going to give you increasing amounts of gold. So in the Fractured Peaks, it's 3,000 up to 150,000 gold. But this track is actually going to be character specific. So every new character can claim these different rewards, but you can't just log on a new character and claim the rewards. That new character actually has to go do the renown system themselves as well. So they're going to have 0 renown when it comes to this top track. So after your first character progressing through the renown system, every new character's progression of this top track is basically just to give you some additional rewards as you level up throughout the game. This isn't something you have to go do, because it's just going to give you some gold and some experience, and the amount of these rewards they're giving you isn't enough to want to go focus on the renown system on alternate characters. So the main thing you're focusing on is going to be that bottom track, and you're going to want to complete all the different renown tracks on your main character to give all that power to all of your alt characters. Now another big account-wide progression system are the altars of Lilith. Now there's going to be altars you can find all over the open world of Diablo 4, and there's going to be over 100 of these. And once you go and click on one of these, you're you're going to first off get a permanent account-wide buff to a different stat. So we know you can get +2 to every main stat, so strength, intelligence, willpower, or dexterity, and these do stack, so you're going to end up getting a bunch of additional main stats just from these Altars of Lilith, and you can also get a increase to the maximum amount of Murmuring Obols you can carry. Now, besides getting these permanent account-wide stats for all of your characters on your account, you're also going to be getting some experience and gold for clicking on every one of these Altars of Lilith. You're also going to be getting some renown to help progress the Renown system. So these are going to be very important and very helpful for leveling up new characters, because if you go get all these Altars of Lilith, a new character is just going to have a ton of additional main stats, which are going to mean a lot more on a level 1 character than a level 50 character. So new characters are just going to be very strong, which is just going to help you level up much quicker early on. Now, this system actually carries over to the seasonal realms. So if you go get every Altar of Lilith on a normal character, any of your normal characters on the seasonal realm is also going to get all of those account-wide stats right when you start the new season. You don't have to go get all the Altars of Lilith again, you just have those stats. And again, these are going to be split between normal and hardcore characters, so if you play both, you have to go get all the Altars of Lilith on one of each character type. But the Altars of Lilith are still going to be somewhat important on the seasonal realms because they still give a decent chunk of XP, which is going to help when leveling up, and you just have to go click on them. They're still going to give you some gold, and they're still going to give you renown. And as we went over with the Renown system, you have to progress the Renown system in every new season as well. And the Altars of Lilith are going to be a pretty easy way to go about getting a bunch of renown for each different region. Because once you know where all of these are, you can just get on your mount and go click on every single Altar of Lilith. You're going to get a bunch of renown, a bunch of extra experience for your character, but again, you're already going to have all of these permanent account-wide stats. And the final account-wide system is going to be the Codex of Power. And this system allows you to permanently unlock legendary aspects from completing dungeons. So you go complete a dungeon, and that's going to give you a codex in the Codex of Power, and this is a permanently unlocked account-wide legendary power that you can go put on an infinite amount of gear pieces on any character you want. Now, like all the other systems, this will be split up between normal and hardcore characters, so you have to go complete them on those two different character types, and I actually haven't heard a confirmation that this system will or will not progress over to seasonal servers, but I give it a very low chance that the Codex of Power is going to transfer over to the seasonal realms. I think it would be way too strong to have 115 legendary powers to choose from on day 1 of the seasonal servers. So I would take this as being a system that does not transfer to the seasonal realms whenever a new season starts. And since this is a system that doesn't just keep giving you more stats, you don't have to complete it and get every codex to get the maximum potential out of it. You can be much more targeted on what powers you actually want to go look for and go complete those corresponding dungeons. Because there's going to be over 100 of these legendary aspects you can unlock, and you may only want a handful of them for the build or the character you're currently playing on. Now, it would still be a pretty good idea to go complete every single dungeon in the game to get all of these different aspects on your first main character, so any alt you create, you have the option of every single power in the codex, but you don't really need that. It's not going to make you stronger or weaker if you have the powers you're looking for. Now, there's two downsides to the Codex of Power. First off, it's going to give you the lowest rolled version of the legendary powers that are in the codex. So if a legendary power can roll 10 to 30%, the codex is always going to give you the 10% version. So even though you have the legendary powers you want from the codex, you're still going to want to go farm those legendary powers from gear pieces to try to get a better roll. And the second being that not all the legendary powers in the game are going to be in the codex. It's seeming like there's only going to be around half in the codex, so there's still going to be a lot of powers to go find specifically off of gear pieces. But this codex is going to be incredibly valuable for making new characters and for new characters on the seasonal server. Because even though it seemed like the codex isn't going to transfer over to the seasonal server, going and doing these on the seasonal server is still going to give you a lot of options for creating new builds and getting the powers you want for your current build while you wait to farm up better rolled versions of those powers. So there's actually going to be quite a lot of content in the Renown system, in the Altars of Lilith, and in the Codex of Power that you're going to want to go complete on your main character or the first character you end up playing through the campaign with. But that's all I want to go over, so thanks for watching.